All right, welcome to episode 253 of the LinuxLUGcast. We are an open podcast / lug that meets at 9 p.m. Eastern every first and third Friday of the month using Mumble. We encourage anyone who listening to us to join us. Hopefully, we can get it working. Apparently, we've had a couple of people try and join tonight and have problems with the Mumble web. Mumble, by the way, is available on just about every single platform, including we have a what's called Mumble Web. The link for that is. Did we ever put it in the show notes? We should probably put it in the show notes. It's on the website. I know that. Oh, if not, I will put it in the show notes. Anyways, in which case, all you have to do is just go to the link, and it'll bring you to Mumble, and you have to allow Mumble to your web browser to use your audio, whatever microphone you have available, and it should just work. Most of those testing it haven't had any problems, but we've had other people try to join recently, and they seem to be having a hard time with it. So, but it is available on pretty much every platform. I mean, it's Moomla on Android, which Moomla is no longer being developed.
No, you have to use. Let's see. Oh no, Moomla is being developed.
Okay,
Plumble is not.
Plumble is no longer being developed. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think even Plumble, if you can get it, it'll still technically work.
Yeah.
Not that well though.
No. Which one do I have installed? Moomla? I may have Moomla installed.
I have both. I have Moomla.
Yeah, just be careful though. We had some really nice 0 days coming out here lately, so you use updated software.
Right, but if you just look for
Moomla's what I'm using.
Look for any version of Mumble and go to LinuxLUGcast.com, and the server details are on the website, along with a link to the web version and to connect to our Mumble server. We record, like I said, on the first and third Friday of every month at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't join us live during the show, we have an email, feedback@linuxlugcast.com. We'll respond to that probably through the email, plus probably on the show. We have a video version of the podcast. If you're with an RSS feeds, you can catch it in a podcast catcher. We on Peertube, YouTube. We're available on pretty much all platforms. I think I've got us on just about everything from iTunes to Amazon Music. I believe iHeartRadio, Spotify. I think it actually is Spotify. The link for the Spotify and some of the other ones are on the website itself.
Turn this into a Twitch stream.
We don't stream it. We don't stream it live, but we do have a nice recording, a video recording of us, plus an audio recording. And Danny sometimes just pulls the highlights out, and our highlights are more popular than the full show, at least on YouTube.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Do I sound like I'm in a tunnel?
No, you sound fine.
Oh.
Oh. Were you hoping you sounded like you were in a tunnel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you that you sound fine.
Okay.
All right. After that long rambling and disappointing Danny that he sounds okay, I'm your host this evening, Honky Magoo. With us tonight is Eric.
Hello.
Joe.
Hello.
Lovecraft.
Hello, everyone.
Still sounding fine as Minix.
Hello.
Mordancy.
Hello, everyone.
Netminer. Netminer's not been feeling well lately, so he might be either resting or off for the moment. And Scotty.
Hello, everyone. And in Minix, I think you also got the mic near the nostril.
Oh, am I breathing?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I delayed starting the show. Was I was trying to catch a time when you weren't breathing. Hey,
How about now? Do I sound like I'm in a tunnel?
No, you don't sound like you're in tunnel. You still sound fine.
I don't sound like I'm in a tunnel?
No.
Okay.
Do I sound like I'm in a tunnel?
Yes. Yes.
Oh
you
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Is that what you were going for?
yeah. You're in the culvert.
Yeah. Now I shouldn't be now.
No, you sound fine.
Yeah. There's an effect in Easy Effects called reverb, so it's basically just a.
No, okay. Now, where are you putting that at? Oh, now I fucked it all up.
You go to input along the top.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom you go to effects.
Yeah.
Okay, and then on the left you add effect.
Yeah.
And then you add reverberation.
That's what I did. Input, effects.
Do you have it enabled to capture all sources?
Is that in Popwire? Or?
It's under preferences. And it's down under the audio. It says process all input streams. You have to kind of turn that on, or you have to then, if you don't have that on, you have to go manually enable it for every stream.
Process all input streams. That's what I need. Okay.
Yeah. Now it should work.
Let's see. Let me put
You have to turn it back on.
Give it a second. Something. Now, how about now?
No. Sorry.
Fuck.
Oh man.
Now everything's all messed up because I'm hearing my own voice in my headphones.
I told you that was going to happen.
With the reverberation effect.
You can hear it in your headphones, the reverberation?
You can kill it if it's doing that. Just go to the little hamburger menu on the right and go to quit.
Yeah.
And it'll kill it, and then you come back in and it should be fine. There's something where when you add it, when you first add it, add a new filter, it does that, a new effect. It's not perfect.
I'll tell you what though, just from the hearing all of that, we could definitely open up a help desk and have Eric help everyone out who's having problems with Linux.
Yeah, and I'll definitely turn on the reverb for them so that they think.
Can you hear my reverb?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, there we
got
go.
it.
Success.
Hey.
Success.
Hey.
Bravo.
Well, welcome to the LinuxLUGcast help desk, everybody.
Yeah.
We've got professionals on standby assisting you with all your open source and Linux needs.
I'll introduce my older brother.
How do I sound now?
Get him in here.
Fine.
You still sound like Linux.
What about now?
That was just kind of like weirdly louder.
Okay.
Sound like you were breathing weird.
Oh,
Horrible. Terrible.
Eric, I like what you did.
What about now?
Yeah. See, Eric is working fine, but yours is not so
What,
much.
my low voice? Yeah.
Yes.
My voice changer.
Yeah, your older brother.
This is deep throat.
I can't get
Or his sister.
input. Now where are you changing that at? In speech processor?
That's no, that's pitch.
Oh, I'm in speech processor. Let's see.
Yeah, that one kind of screws things up.
We
I mean, it
noticed.
does and it doesn't. Sometimes it'll work fine, but then
What is it supposed to do?
All right, hold on. So
It does
that we all
background.
know, what distribution are you running again, Minix?
KDE.
No, not the DE. What distribution?
Oh, I'm sorry. Fedora.
Fedora? Okay, so don't use Fedora. Fedora is terrible.
How do I sound now?
that's a fair point. So, speech processor, if you look at the state that shows you what it's doing, it'll do a denoise. It does a voice detection. It takes out any kind of background noise. Is basically what it's doing. And then it also will do some like automatic gain and just kind of, you know, like let's see, you know, Discord kind of does voice processing. I don't know if you do or not, but it sort of does all this voice stuff in the background. That's kind of what speech processor is. It's using the same codecs, and it's that SpeedX DSP thing.
Discord doesn't like Danny.
See,
okay.
the pitch changer, I only get quality for input and output, but I don't get actual pitch controls.
Here.
Should have installed the snap. It would have worked just fine if you had used the snap.
Do you have pitch controls?
Why?
Here.
All right,
Eric?
all right,
Yeah,
Eric.
here. Can you see my?
Oh, I'm not looking. Hang on.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Or I can see it. Anyway.
So I'm on
Yeah.
input, right? Input tab, filters on the or effects on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then I added reverbs above it, but I have pitch here. I have it selected.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have it on right now because it's not lit up.
See,
So
I don't have any of that stuff on there.
on the right.
Yeah.
Is your window the
I
same
just have
size?
quality. Hang on. Maybe I need to open it up.
Just make the window bigger if it's not big enough, because it'll hide stuff. Oh no, never mind. I don't know. Maybe you're using the wrong one. I'm using the one from.
Are you using a flat pack?
Yep.
All right, let me do that. Let me quit out of it.
Definitely make sure you're using the snap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go back to there. Because I just installed it from
I heard that. It took me a second to register. Yeah, make sure you're using the snap.
install.
Funny guy.
Okay, it's downloading the Flatpak now.
Yeah, Flatpak. A lot of times the stuff they package on there, because Audacity is like this too. They package a lot of extra stuff with it, like the filters and different things. So I don't know if maybe some of that stuff, even though it's built in, has different or better effects on the Flatpak version. I'm not sure. What version were you using from repo?
Yeah, from Fedora repos.
Oh, it's probably outdated then. I mean,
Yeah, it's usually older, but the Flatpaks are so big that this little multimedia computer I use for the show, I don't have a ton of storage. So
yeah, this one says it's 7.1.9.
Yeah, and it's only 78 megabytes, but it's actually way bigger than that.
Because you got to get all the frameworks and stuff.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Easy Effects.
Yeah.
I'm just getting it from Discover and KDE.
I'm not sure what the difference is, but yeah, I don't know. I just tend to have better luck with Flatpak on this stuff.
Have you guys been checking out the Lugcast lab lately?
Well, I looked at some of what y'all were doing in there, and what were you trying to get? Hugo? Is that what you were trying to get running?
Oh, you mean what I failed and gave up on super early? Yeah, sure.
Why did that happen? Why did that happen, though?
Well, you see, I overcomplicated, as usual, a very simple thing. We rather than just grabbing a package from the distribution through the package manager, I wanted to run a container, and the process of getting a container got a little weird. The containers that we found required far more than what we thought, and ultimately it felt like we were just, mordancy got a lot farther than I did with it. I actually tried to build a fresh one from scratch but the Go container that you had to use to then build the Hugo from scratch in another container, it was too much. So I figured if I was going to get any work done this century, I needed to find something else.
The funny thing is, the first time I ever played with Docker is I built a Hugo container. And what I did is I just created a fresh container, went inside the container, and then set up Hugo.
Okay.
You installed Hugo within the container?
Yeah.
Which container did you use to do that in?
I think I used just a Debian container.
Okay, so you just grabbed like an OS container and ran commands inside the
and then went in. Just started it up and then went inside the container and then installed Hugo in it.
So this was not in the image file or anything like that, where you could just like relaunch a fresh container from the image file. Once
you have it all set up, you can just save that container and then just restart that container.
Right.
Hey, why don't you do that on the server, like in the lab?
This was probably a good 6-7 years ago I did this, but I mean it still should technically be available to do.
Have you tried it lately? Like when I was trying to build it from source, trying to set up a Go environment and those environment variables and everything to get that to work, I ran into so many issues. And I still don't know what all changes I made on my system, so I just kind of left it alone, hoping for the best.
What I did was it seemed super easy. I just installed Go and it just kind of ran.
Okay, so
I don't remember setting up any environment variables, but I mean, I wasn't installing it on a VPN. I was installing it on a local machine. And like I said, it was inside of the container environment, but it worked.
Mordancy's having some issues over there. Mordancy, you okay?
I'm not sure. Is he talking to us? He could be talking to L.
Does my voice sound any different?
No, you sound the same.
I'm talking to Dave. We're trying to get his audio working.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you do the capture all streams part.
I did that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not getting anything in the. Hang on, let me just delete.
Do you see something in the graph moving while you're speaking?
I see it. No, that's the thing.
Are you running Pulse?
Yes.
You have to do pulse effects. This
No. Easy effects is the next. Is the next? I'm running Pipewire. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say I thought Fedora moved to Pipewire.
Okay, so I need to do. So when I go to input, oh, here we go. Recorders. My bad. Okay, now I need to enable mumble. There we go. Okay, effects. So in the Flatpak, I can see the actual
streams.
Yeah. Let's see. So semitones, I guess, is what you want to change.
Yeah, I took it down to -2. That's the sound.
Do I sound different now?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
High pitch.
There you go.
Okay.
Now you got your fetish voice on.
But you can't hear yourself, can you, Eric? Or can
No, you can't hear it in your own ear, but you can hear it. I mean, I don't know, unless you monitor yourself. I don't monitor my own speech. It drives me crazy.
I don't either. I could, if I had LugBot working, I could.
If you had a mimic bot, you could hear it.
Oh. Good idea. I'm going to jump in there real quick.
Yeah, you still sound like the other thing that you're doing, by the way. You didn't take it off.
So, are we going to talk about the movie?
Oh, you want to jump right into the movie?
Yeah, sure. Why? I mean,
or we could talk about projects.
Well, yeah. Let's let Danny get back because he's playing around with his.
Don't say it.
Yeah. If you want to talk about projects, what have you been working on? You been working on anything good?
Oh, yes. Actually, I've been working on something kind of fun. Andronics on Android to run basically a Linux distribution on VM on my phone.
Nice.
Oh.
And I was actually able to get X2Go client installed on there. Go not only into my home machine, but into Mordancy's machine.
Lugcast Lab?
Lugcast Lab, yeah. Look on Mordancy's face, he's in my machine?
So what was this via using Android's new KVM stuff, their containerized stuff, or was this a chroot type of deal?
This was no root is required on this one, so I don't know on that, but just an application called Andronix.
Andronix.
Is that available in the Play Store, or is
Yes.
that yeah?
Play Store. No
Because
root required.
I think we talked about a while back about how the newer versions of Android now have KVM
Right.
as part of the OS, so you could do a native Linux install. It wouldn't need.
Don't think that's.
You wouldn't need a VNC client to log into it.
Okay, it got quiet for me for just a second. Can somebody say something?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at the Andronix app.
But I will install things using Termux, and I can view it through BVNC.
So you still need a VNC client with Andronix, or does Andronix include a VNC client?
No, I installed my own.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So, it runs its own VNC server as well. I see. Okay. What distro did you install?
I installed Ubuntu 2204.
How's the latency?
I haven't noticed any.
Oh, nice. Well, then that doesn't really matter. Then I remember doing it a long time ago, and there was terrible latency.
It runs pretty smooth, and I mean, even X2Go was running really smooth. I was kind of surprised.
Did you notice how much space it takes up?
I did not.
I guess at least the space that the distro requires, and then.
Dog has gas. It's really bad.
Oh. That's why you're blinking a lot over there. The fumes are tearing up your eyes.
I got this fan blowing across me, and it's still smacking me in the face.
Got that Alpo gas.
Dogs. It's too much. We fed my dog turkey after Thanksgiving one time, and we had to basically vacate the house, open all the windows. It was bad.
Oh, and I also picked up a cast device.
Oh, what about the show notes?
It'll do Miracast.
Oh, okay.
That way Samsung has decks set up, you can do wireless decks with it.
Okay, you want me to set up the show notes?
No,
show notes are set up.
253.
Oh, I'm looking at the top. It says, "Welcome to episode 252."
Oh, I just didn't. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Okay. I'll do it.
Okay, thanks. I changed the date at the bottom for the next recording date, but I guess I didn't change the top.
What is all this?
Scotty,
is this you, Scotty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot to finish updating that. It's from the movie.
Only for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't need that much on the movie in there. I mean, that's way too much.
Wow.
You sound like you're talking like someone who didn't actually read what he put. It's hysterical.
That's impressive.
I was waiting for more.
So we talked about easy effects. And then Andronix was what Joe was using.
Hey Joe, is that a silicone band that you're wearing there?
This?
No, the ring.
Yeah.
Silicone?
Yeah.
Where'd you get those? Is that a double X or a single X?
This is a 10.5.
10.5? Okay.
Amazon, I got a whole bag of them here.
I got an XL now, and I think the ones that I need is the double X. I think it's like the 13 to 14 or whatever. I got it from Walmart. I don't know how the size is going, but it's squeezing my finger something awful.
them from Walmart, you're getting one at a time.
Well, it's 3 of them, and I think 4 of them in the pack.
It's the cost is kind of harsh from there.
It is.
Pick them up from Amazon at a relatively decent price, and you can pick them up in like sets of 5 with all different colors. Have a bag of them here. Ah, there it is. Bag of them here. Black, blue, gray, dark gray.
There you go.
And I wear these instead of a metal wedding band because, you know, working on a car or something, I don't want to get my finger smashed.
Same here. That's why I'm switching over to silicone. But the one that I got, man, it's causing me some problems. I gotta get a new a bigger size.
You know what you need is that silicone O-ring we saw earlier in that picture.
Oh. Well, you know what? I might just grab one of them too, you know?
Well, it's got to make sense too if you're going to be like anywhere near an MRI machine or something like that. That you need, if you were going to have to take this thing off consistently or whatever, you want it somewhere that you can take it off, or you want it to be able to take it off pretty easily, and not like this is going to take me probably about a good half hour to get off if I can.
Yeah, I can see the top of your finger above the ring. It's looking like permanently.
This is going to be a lot of soap, a lot of yanking, a lot of swearing.
Put on a little weight since you purchased that, did you?
There's a good chance, yes.
And then I have some news about my little mini laptop.
Oh, go yeah, let us know.
Well, I've talked about this device so many times before. I love this little device. But I had it in the living room on the table next to my chair because that's where I end up using it. I'll have work brought up in front of me, and then I'll just have this, you know, here. So it was on my table there. One of my kids, don't know which one because all of them says it was not me, spilled a bottle of Febreze on my table. A bottle of Febreze on my table. On this. So when you take it apart, it smells very lovely. Oh yeah, you can still smell it.
Don't tell me is it done for?
No, the only thing that really got messed up is the keyboard. So the keyboard no longer works, and a laptop without a keyboard is a set-top box.
Right.
I've spent the $40 and I've ordered a new keyboard. Yes, I've torn this thing down, and yes, I've checked the connections, but because of how the style of keyboard is, I'm sure it's just something that's corroded right underneath these keys. Not a whole lot I can do for it, and I've looked up the teardown on this thing to tear it down far enough to place the keyboard. Looks to be just a little bit of a nightmare, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a try.
So what? Can you tell us what the device is? The type of device it is again? Just because it's been a while.
A mini gaming laptop. It's a 1GX1 Pro. That one's actually the Kickstarter edition. You can still get it on AliExpress for, I think there's a sale on right now for $900.
Whoa.
And the non-sale price, what you normally see, is between $1,200 and $1,600, dependent on whether or not you get the 8GB version or the 16 gigabyte version. I have the 16 gigabyte version with the 500 gig hard drive because the 8 gigabyte version has the 256 gig hard drive. This has, for a 7-inch screen laptop, it has a Core i5 10th gen processor in it. Okay, like a full-on desktop processor in it, and it has been one of my favorite devices now since I got it. I believe I bought it for like $1,000 device. I bought it for like Okay. Why are you on camera in your underwear?
Yeah, I was about to say you wanna not send us to prison right now?
Who's that?
That's my son.
What
About
happened?
to go to bed. He's in his underwear. Walked in here, saw the camera on, and kept walking on in.
Man after my own heart.
Yes, you had to take your pills. I saw you take your pills. Now take your butt to bed. Next time, put clothes on.
Oh, I know what I was going to talk about since you brought up the little laptop. I posted a link in the Matrix to one of those little mini computers with the Raspberry Pi inside.
Oh, the Pi 500?
No, it was, what is it called? It was one that me and Captain RC were talking about. That looked pretty cool.
The one that looks the light gray one with the orange buttons.
Well,
it looks like something.
It was beige. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it the KVM type, or is it just like a mini computer?
Mini computer.
It's called Meet the New Pilet 5. I'll put it in the show notes real quick. So.
But I spent like $100 getting this broken. And the battery was bulged, and then I spent like $50 on a battery, so I got a $1,000 device for like $150.
That's awesome.
Now I got to spend more money and take it apart more and put it back together.
Now, here's what I'm wondering: how long is the battery like? Because with all that power in it, I'm guessing the battery doesn't hold up very long.
It actually does pretty well, but I'm always near a charger too. Got a lot of standby drain, so I'll use hibernate instead. But maybe 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, as long as I'm not doing anything like.
The rest of that got lost.
We
heard as long as as I'm not doing anything, and then we lost everything.
As long as I'm not doing any like heavy gaming on it or anything. If I'm not doing anything processor or graphics intensive. So if I'm just like casually typing or something, that's like a 4 or 5 hour experience. And that's a lot of what I use it for. Maybe some casual browsing, things like that, and testing new applications.
Have you ever tried anything intense, either graphically or CPU intensely on it? Like, have you ever tried playing a game on it, or?
I have played. I had to jump through some hoops, but I got Grand Theft Auto Vice City playing on it, and
okay.
Oh wow!
It is a tiny screen, okay, and
right.
It's supposed to be a gaming device, but it doesn't exactly have dedicated graphics in it. It's fairly limited as a gaming device, but using it as a desktop is not so bad. I mean, you all saw that I built the docking station for it in the past and had that all put together, and like I could set it up and have it connected to like 2 TVs, and it did all that just fine, and it all day, and I had my Nextcloud set up on it. Use it as a computer all day long. It's just not really all that great for gaming itself.
And now, is the keyboard actually like does it feel like you're using an actual keyboard, or is it like a joke of a keyboard? Because I imagine with it being that small, for me personally, being a fairly large male, I feel like I'm good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is a little bit difficult to get used to, but you can get used to it. I mean, you are practically, on top of yourself typing on it.
T-Rex mode.
Yeah, but
yeah.
It is usable if you practice.
That was the problem that I had. I thought netbooks were really cool back in the day when those were popular. Bought a couple of them, and every single one, it was just like, oh my god! I don't think that. For one, I look like. Have you seen the cartoon with the bear on a tricycle? That's what I feel like using a thing, right? Like I'm hunched over, just curled up trying to type. So
I will tell you that this is even smaller than most of your netbooks.
Okay, so yeah, that's probably not going to work for me then.
Well, I know a lot of the people that I talk to on a lot of my podcasts are also a little bit older than me, and their eyesight is not as good, and they would complain about the 7-inch screen.
That too. Yeah, definitely that.
But I love the little thing. If I'm going to now, I like using the little keyboard on it. It's not the easiest thing possible, but for just something quick, making my grocery list or filling out my latest calorie count, whatever. And sometimes I'll even do show notes on it. But if I'm gonna have a longer typing session, then yeah, I'll hook up an external keyboard. It's a great little device for one, how much I paid for it, and form factors. It's just incredible.
It's definitely really a cool device. The size of it and the amount of power that you can pack into it, really cool. But I think you gotta one, be petite, and two, have decent eyes.
Glasses, one of the two.
Yeah.
I did have to do a lot with scaling on it, and that will sometimes cause problems with certain applications.
Kind of cut out there. You said certain applications, then it went blank.
I'm probably having USB problems again on this computer. I need to do, but no, like when you upscale to like 175%, 200%, and then you have an application that has buttons at the bottom like apply or cancel, you might have to adjust the scaling back down, right? So that way you can actually see those buttons and see what you're clicking.
Or you use GNOME, a real desktop environment.
Pretty sure that would still have the problem.
Oh, no. See, I hype GNOME to extraordinary. GNOME works on everything, like no matter what the scale is, the UI. I mean, just works all the time.
I'm talking about individual applications.
Or you could use a great desktop like XFCE.
GTK is GTK4.
I use a proper desktop, which is called Cinnamon.
Oh, you use Cinnamon?
Yeah.
Is that bootleg GTK? I can't remember.
No, it's it was a.
Isn't that just GNOME 2 with all the improvements that should have gone into GNOME 3?
Yes, I agree.
You know what? I shouldn't say that because I love Cinnamon, and my favorite thing about the Cinnamon desktop would it would be the file manager Nemo. That's my favorite file manager ever. I love the simplicity of the Cinnamon desktop environment and the fact that you can do everything that you want with it, and the customizable menu. That was one of the other things that I really enjoyed when I jumped into Linux Mint. So yeah, I rag on it a little bit, but I do like the Cinnamon desktop environment.
And honestly, GNOME 3 is great for a tablet, but if you're doing multi-screen,
You cut out there a little bit. You say if you're doing multi-screen.
Oh God, what the? Bump up the volume. See if that helps me not cut out.
I'll defend GNOME on the multi-screen thing. If you're using a what do you call the thing? I got it right here. I have an Intuos drawing tablet. If you're doing any sort of design or drawing with a tablet, GNOME has worked the best out of all the desktop environments that I've tried with that little tablet. The others work as well, especially if you're using multiple displays. But with GNOME, they have a setting in there that allows you to isolate the tablet to a single display. Because what happens in other desktop environments, they try to do the same with the little drawing tablet as with the other displays. So you'll end up like drawing on just like the top right corner of the actual drawing tablet rather than the entire tablet.
Okay, but no, I haven't used GNOME in a while, but yeah, it always had a problem if you had more than one display. But I always touted it as being really good if you were running it on a tablet. A lot of the gesture-based controls with the touchscreen work really well.
Yeah, that and their what do you call the things? Accessibility when you do the the large text. The UI scales well with large text. Cinnamon does as well. Like, I had no problem scaling with Cinnamon in large text. Mate was a different story. I don't remember if I tried it with KDE, but I remember that GNOME scaled well with large text.
Yeah, I actually turned off the scaling the last time I had my mini laptop working, and then just went in and manually adjusted the size of the bar at the bottom and the icons in there, and then all of the text that shows up on the screen, I bumped that all up, and that worked really well too. So a bit more of a manual process, but it did help the window sizing issue that I was having.
And I'd also like to point out, trying any of this on Windows would just fail immediately. Like, you just don't get the ability.
Hello.
Oh, what was that? Was that
That was
Lugbot?
Lugbot.
He's
Lugbot
back.
showed up.
Oh,
It's
God.
Lugbot. He's trying.
Is that Minix
You can do it,
trolling?
Lugbot. We believe in you.
Don't encourage it.
I am here.
Yay!
Yeah, I got the new keyboard ordered from AliExpress. I've been using AliExpress quite a bit lately, just for
Now, did you get
random things.
you get a
Because you're
mechanical
a
keyboard?
communist.
No, it's the,
Oh,
it's
he's a
the
communist?
keyboard that goes with it. It's the keyboard that goes on it. It's a chiclet keyboard. And
So
I
a
also
communist
ordered
keyboard?
MMCX cables are getting harder to get because everybody's got the true wireless headphones, and like all of my LGs, I replaced the cables with MMCX cables, and I was able to order these from AliExpress as well.
You can tell
you
Joe's
are
a
going
dad
to
because he
record
just
the
ignores
repair,
us.
right?
I couldn't hear you both at the same time.
Sorry.
Huh. You're
Go
gonna
ahead, Scotty.
you're gonna record the repair?
I've done that before, and you know, the fourth or fifth time you do that recording, it gets a little boring.
We'll make it fun.
Make it fun. Light myself
No.
on fire while I do it.
Oh,
Do
that'd be fun.
do time lapses and
Yeah.
Joe,
Yes.
you need to do it on Twitch, man.
there you
And
go.
have like a green
Yes.
screen behind you and like lots
I've
of
done
LED
it on the show
lighting.
before. I mean, one of the shows, I was in the kitchen. I set up my
Okay.
camera, and I fixed like 8 or 9 different headphones at the same time, and it was all the LG HVS, and it was all repairing those cables.
Background music. Lots of background music.
Joe.
And then just occasionally take a dance break in the middle of it.
You know,
I would also say no nude children in the background would help as well.
That'd probably be safe.
Yeah, that'd probably get you. You won't get partnership.
Or might make it more popular.
Oh, well, you know, I
With
don't know
the
what
wrong
crowd.
kind of people.
Yeah.
Balls.
Okay.
There was a whole South Park episode about that with the drink.
Balls?
No. Whatever, I don't know, power or I don't remember what the drink was.
There was a whole episode about chocolate salty balls too.
Yeah, but that was like
Well-
season 1 or 2.
also the chemotherapy
Back
balls
when I watched it.
where they had giant balls big enough to bounce around on. Remember that one?
With the microwave so they could get the medical
Oh, microwave.
marijuana.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. Oh, Randy Marsh.
Well, more
Somebody with integrity. Yes, Scotty.
Any interesting projects or cool things happen? Well, you know what? We need to go to Eric first because Eric hadn't been here in a long time.
Good question. So probably getting a PineTime watch was fun. It's just a distraction.
Eric, talk now.
You got it.
Go ahead,
Lugbot.
Now, is that the developer edition of the PineTime? Because they
No,
came
I
out
got the
with
sealed one. I got the sealed one just because I'm never going to do any development on it. I just wanted to try it. And
How
the
What do you
sealed
think
one-
about it?
Yeah.
You know
fun?
what? So I really
Is it as
I've never
massive as it looks?
no, it's not big at all.
Is that it?
It's tiny.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it's not big at all.
He's just got tiny spaghetti arms.
No,
Yeah, I
man,
do. I do have little tiny arms.
This guy.
it always looks big in the pictures.
No,
but
it's not big at all. It's
it
no
looks like
bigger than a normal like Timex.
smartwatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's the battery life on it?
This is a normal Timex, and they're very similar size. Yeah.
What's the battery life on it?
So the last time I charged it last night, and I hadn't charged it in 9 days.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it lasts a long time.
So
you get all
Eric
that
has a
wonderful health.
watch.
Yeah.
You get all that wonderful health information and all that good stuff on it?
Well, so really it gives you two main metrics. It gives you step count, and then it does have a heart rate monitor.
Does it have an app on your phone that next to it?
There's a open source, Gadget Bridge. It's an open source app, and you can upload the firm and update the firmware. It pulls in the step counts and some basic sort of telemetry type stuff, but it's not like a full blown fitness tracker or anything. And if you get it for that purpose, you'll be disappointed because it doesn't do sleep tracking. It doesn't do, but for me, a couple of things. I've never had a smartwatch. I miss a lot of notifications when my phone's in my pocket because I have it on vibrate and I just don't feel it. And so it's nice to have the notification on my wrist. 2, I did want a step counter, and I do like the heart rate monitor, so that's nice. 3, I wanted a super long battery life, and this is great because even if you realize you're at like 10%, you still have a day and a half. So it's really cool for that.
Price too, right?
Yeah, it was $40 with shipping. So the device itself is $25, but then it was like another $15 to ship it from China. So, but yeah, I've had like no complaints. It is doing something weird right now, which I don't know if I'll be able to show it, but at the very top of the screen, it's decided it's going to start showing some like a bleed over of like the pixels. Can you see that very tip top there? That line is not supposed to be there.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't show us your heart reading, otherwise you might get hacked.
Yeah. No, but there's an extra line of pixels up there. I don't know what it's doing.
I see that at the top.
So I don't know if that's just like if I need to reflash it or reboot it. I don't know. I haven't really played around with it. It doesn't bother me that much. I like that, it just has a flick activate. It has real basic stuff. It has a timer. I have an alarm set on it. There's another, so this is the Infinitime OS that's on it. There's another OS that you can put on it and flash it, and I haven't tried it yet. I don't even remember what it's called. I'm trying to remember right now.
Does it have those, what do you call it, the haponics or whatever, that like the little vibrate feature things?
Haptic?
There you go. That's the...
Yeah, so it doesn't make any noise at all. It doesn't beep. There's no speaker that I know of in it. So all it does do is vibrate.
Okay, sweet. That's what I'm talking about. I was nervous about the product simply because some of the other Pine products, they're supposed to be certain things, but not really because the software hadn't caught up. So I was worried that the watch, not to be overcritical or anything, I was just worried that the watch was similar. It was like always going to be in development, that kind of thing.
Honky, so you have one, don't you?
He has a Pine phone.
Oh, I thought he had the PineTime too. He had like 2 of them, but they broke.
Oh, really?
Oh. So Moss had one and it broke for him too. This one, and that's why I'm wondering maybe there's pixels at the top if it's a problem too. I haven't gotten it wet, even though it supposedly is APS or IPC rated, whatever. I just take it off before I shower, so I don't really want to push it. And I recognize this thing is $25. I mean, how much? Number one, how much technology can you fit in there? Number 2, how robust is the case? And although I'll say, it is not scratched. I'm amazed that the face on it must be just good enough in terms of like the glass they use. Because I swear I've beat it, like I've hit it against things expecting to look at it and go, oh, and it hasn't scratched at all. So yeah, I mean, just in terms of like all the things I wanted out of a basic smartwatch, and that's exactly what I'd call this.
Notifications?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So that Gadget Bridge app funnels your notifications through, and it has settings for, you can set which applications you want to get notifications from, which ones you don't. So this is like a blacklist, whitelist kind of a setting. And that's so that's with this Infinitime that sort of comes with it. And then there's also this one called Wasp OS, which is another sort of ROM you could put on it, another operating system. I haven't tried it yet. It's largely the same, but it has some additional capabilities that the Infinitime doesn't. But honestly, I'm so used to wearing dumb watches that like the fact that it gets notifications from my phone and does the heart rate monitor and all that is really, it already makes it a better experience or more advanced experience than just like a normal Timex.
I agree. You get the steps and everything with it too.
So, but it is also kind of a gateway thing because I've enjoyed using it enough that I think that if I can find something maybe during like the sales events, like the Black Fridays and stuff like that, there's a OnePlus makes it's $300 normal price, but it's a kind of a round face, and it has both the Gear OS and also an SoC, like one of these, so it actually runs for like 4 or 5 days before you need to charge it. Because like the Google Watch, the Pixel One, the Samsung Watch, like most of these watches last for like a day, maybe 2.
See, when we went to Japan,
this one lasts like 4.
When we went to Japan, I went to or my friends both had Apple Watches, and then I had the Samsung Watch, and they were worried about their watches running out of power during the day after being fully charged.
Apple Watches suck. I can testify to that. It sucks. That's why when he said 9 days, I'm like, whoa.
Like this watch I have, it's Samsung something. It has 62%, and I put it on yesterday morning. So
that's not bad at all.
I haven't charged it yet. But I couldn't believe that they had to turn off their displays and all this other stuff just to get it to last the full day.
Yep.
I was like, man, why would you even want to watch like that?
No, my S5.
I'm sorry.
My S5, my Galaxy Watch 5 will last like 4 or 5 days. And I turn off the setting to turn your wrist and have it turned on because I don't want it coming on in the middle of the night all the time, because I wear it for sleep tracking as well. And
I think mine is the 4. I think mine's right before yours. Yeah,
like the 4 is supposed to have really garbage battery, but the 5.
Oh, thanks a lot.
The 5. I just have that one feature turned off, and it makes it last so much longer. And yeah, I do. I have to push the button to make it come up. But for me, it's kind of worth it because I want that extra battery life.
So, but does yours have the thing where it locks the screen? Where you can have it lock the screen. It's like water, so it's supposed to be like if you're swimming and it doesn't mess with the screen.
Yeah.
Because I just bought the Galaxy Fit 3, and it has that feature to it where I wear it when I sleep. It's where I'm at. I need kind of I use it. That's my time. So I put that on so that when I'm moving around, I don't adjust things or hit things and change things. So it locks the screen while I sleep, but I can still get I can still read the time and the notification.
And then it'll play like some weird tone when you turn it off to push all the water out of the speakers. Does yours do that?
No,
that's cool.
It's just something that locks the screen. So all it is a screen lock. So Eric, I'm not sure. My wife just came home, so I didn't know whether you answered this question or not. So with the notifications, does it give you any options with notifications? Like, can you do like a canned response?
No, it's all one way. So it's really just this. It's Gadget Bridge,
right?
Pushing the notifications.
You had a Pebble.
You had
Pebble,
the Pebble. Yeah. That's what it was. I thought you had the PineTime.
No, I've been looking at the PineTime, but I didn't buy the PineTime.
He said you had 2 of them and you broke them both.
That was the Pebble.
Yeah,
it was the Pebble.
Yeah, those were the Pebbles.
Yeah, honestly for the price. So Gadget Bridge is it's a generic app and it supports Pebble and it supports different things. But like it just kind of gives you like real basic sort of graphs and stuff and shows you your steps and your distance.
But that's all you need though. That's
well, it could be all you need, and that's absolutely true. I'm looking at a more advanced one simply because you could absolutely be happy with this. I mean, I am very happy with it for what you pay. I mean, if I paid maybe $100 for it, I would think, because really the part that's disappointing is Gadget Bridge, and that's because it's not really related to Pine. Pine makes the hardware. They, I think, developed Infinitime, so they have the ROM as well. Wasp is a different development team. So really, they're depending on this third-party application, and Gadget Bridge is just one of several possible ones you can use. It just happens to be the most sort of reliable and complete one. But I think a part of the reason you're paying so much for a Samsung, for a Galaxy Watch, or the Pixel Watch, or the OnePlus, or any of those other ones, is the software, because you're getting an app that gives you more advanced features of like the sleep tracking, like all these other things that let you, like a Wear OS, how it'll sort of go and feed into Google Fit and stuff like that. The software itself gives you a much more robust kind of environment, like, and the capabilities are really reliant on the software, whereas this is just pretty much, again, I think the notifications make it worth it, because it helps me, like, I don't miss phone calls and I don't miss my wife texting me anymore, because she'd get mad at me. She'd text me and like 3 hours later she'd call me and be like, are you like dead or what? Why aren't you getting my texts? And so that's nice, and I can feel it on my wrist versus not in my pocket. So
can you use the PineTime to control media?
Yes. So you're right. It isn't completely one way. Yes, you can actually. It uses that protocol to show what's playing, and then yes, you can play and pause and advance to the next track.
So this that I just picked up. So before this I had the Amazfit something, one of the Amazfits, and it was
I've heard good things.
Yeah, and then the base of it, where the watch band would snap into, cracked, and the band just wouldn't stay on at all. And it's not something I could have fixed. I think the only thing I didn't try between glue and whatever, I didn't try to put any solder in that little crack in it. But I'm not sure how well that would have stuck on anyways. But so that's why I bit and bought this. The Amazfit it was $55. It was cheap.
It's not bad.
I mean, I get the notifications. I can do the media control. It had the biggest thing that made me pull the trigger on it is I can do canned responses, which was one of the big things I loved from Pebble. Was I can set up just a list of canned responses. So, like if you said, if my wife texts me and I can just go, oh look, I got a text from my wife. I can just do the quick okay, because that's all she wants sometimes, just the okay or right or whatever, just something to acknowledge the fact that I got that text. I can just quickly hit okay, reply okay, and then just go on with the rest of my day. So
let me just say that's such a man thing to need, by the way. Where you just need to be able to respond. So having canned messages to just say, okay, there, I hear ya, I heard you there. No,
you need an AI to do that for you.
My wife requires a response sometimes to make sure that she that I know that just to know that she knows that I got the message.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
so. Is that the BIP?
What's
5
that?
Or the model that you have?
Though this one is the Galaxy Fit 3. The other one was the Amazfit. I had both the Amazfit BIP for a while, and then I had the Amazfit GT.
Active, maybe?
GT something. I don't know.
There's a T-Rex. So their website has a Balance, an Active, GTR Mini, T-Rex, Falcon, Cheetah, and BIP are the ones that they all have.
Let's make sure we get these in the show notes too. These, because we're throwing out a bunch of names that's probably not going to be really searchable.
Well, what's really cool is they're saying 10-day battery life.
Yeah,
it's
battery
all
life
of
is always fantastic.
It's heart rate, oxygen, sleep, and stress monitor, GPS tracking, steps, distance, and calories. This is awesome. It's got like everything I would want out of a. This is
the previous one. I think was a GTS 4 Mini, which did not have the ability to do the CAN responses, but it was. I learned how to make my own watch faces. It had like an application online where I could make my own watch faces and stuff.
Oh, neat!
I played around with that for a while, and I made a couple of watch faces. And then I made like one, and then just like stopped.
Oh, you know what's okay? So now I'm looking at this. The Active. This came up for me. It got recommended to me on Amazon because I recognized the face that's on it, and I thought, oh, that's cool that there's an option that is. This one has 14-day battery life, has all the same tracking and everything, and it's 109. So that's cool. I mean, and I don't know if it has the canned responses and stuff. I'd have to look, but I like that there's a middle ground. I like that, this is obviously the Pine is going to be like the lowest of the low end, even though it's quite capable in the things that it does. It doesn't do a lot of the things that something now I'm seeing at this like $70-ish range, which is not terrible. I mean, hell, a Timex is $45.
Now, I gotta ask for both you, Eric, and Hunky, with your devices, do they require you? What I noticed with the Apple Watches, and same thing with the Fitbit, because I had a Fitbit in the past. Before you could receive any of the information from the device, the wearable, it had to go to the manufacturer first, then it would be provided to you afterward. Is that true with either you, Eric, or you, Honky? Like, does the manufacturer require them to receive the information first before making it available to you?
Like a cloud service, like an intermediary cloud service. Yeah, no, the PineTime is literally just Bluetooth. I mean, that's straight from the watch to the app on your phone. It just connects as a Bluetooth device, and it's always connected basically if you're wearing it, essentially. And
that's exactly why I would buy that device right there. That alone, I don't care what features the others have. The fact that I don't have to always be online just to get my data. The company holding me hostage just to get my data.
Well, and also think of it this way: the OSs on here, like there was a new release of the InfiniTime 1.14, like I don't know, like late last year or something. But before that, it had been like several years. So there isn't like any kind of like reason. Like if you get one of these other watches, I mean, they could have just stopped supporting the software at any time, and then the watch is basically pointless.
Gadget Bridge evidently works really well with the Amazfit.
Oh, okay.
On their
Does
site.
it work with the Amazfit?
That's what they're saying on their site.
Okay.
Gadget Bridge is pretty cool. I do give them I don't understand their graphs. They're very like bizarre. Like their dashboard has this.
Oh wait, Minix is leaving? He didn't talk about the movie though.
No, I gotta go. I gotta I gotta be at work at 3:30. So.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, can you give a 2-minute review of your review of the movie?
Well,
yeah, just a quick.
Positive, negative.
Okay, well, we can review it real quick if you want to.
Well, we're in the just positive, negative. Good.
I have mixed feelings, so Do
we need to pause the wearable conversation so we can go through the movie?
Oh, no,
yeah, go ahead.
You want to? Okay. We could do that real quick before I go to bed. Yeah, I got it. What?
Do the sound effect. You got to do the sound effect.
I already turned that off.
Oh my
Yeah, killed
god.
Lugbutt.
Yeah, I was just gonna sneak out. So the creator is what we watched. It was made last year. Was this made for streaming? Like for Apple TV or something? Because I don't remember seeing trailers.
It was
No, it's
supposedly
supposed to be
in
theaters.
theaters. Yeah.
Oh, it was in theaters?
Because I saw the
Okay.
trailer in theater.
I never saw advertisements for it. It's such a big movie, you know. But I guess a general overview is in the beginning you see AI is kind of taking off and it's become part of the culture and a part of society until there was a giant accident where supposedly AI triggered a nuclear bomb that blew up LA. And so America's mission from then on was to destroy all AI, which had already been put into androids and things like that. And but the other countries were still using AI because they hadn't been affected by the disaster. And there's one guy who is the protagonist named Joshua, and he is a secret agent from the U.S. military to infiltrate this kind of AI society in Asia, and he ends up marrying the woman who he thinks will lead him to, quote unquote, the creator, which is the brains behind, or they call him Nirmata, I think, behind this AI revolution. And supposedly Nirmata is creating a weapon that's going to wipe out all human beings, and AI will take over the world. So that's kind of a brief outline of the beginning, and Joshua ends up. A lot of stuff happens. I'm kind of skipping over a lot of stuff, but it's basically Joshua finding out what the weapon actually is. I don't want to spoil it if people haven't seen it, but and kind of being won over to the AI side while he searches for his missing wife, who he married while he was a secret agent. So that's kind of a brief outline. So I'll just tell you my impressions real quick. Talk about it after that. I thought it was overly long. It's to the point of being boring. I thought the special effects were good. They did a good job with CGI, and the sound effects were good. But I think they played it too safe and kind of were afraid to take chances. I think a lot of these newer movies, they pour so much money into them that they don't want to put any like major surprises or things that may shock or make the audience upset, which I kind of like to see. That's why I like to watch smaller movies. But you know, overall, it was kind of what you would expect would happen towards the end, and like I said, it was just a kind of a blockbuster with lots of CGI, and I really didn't have any kind of emotional attachment to any of the characters, not even the kind of twist of the movie. But I mean, it was interesting enough. I think I would, if I was had watched this in the theater, I'd probably be slightly disappointed by spending money on it. But since I didn't and just watched it for the show, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie, but it was overly long. It was somewhat boring, and it was pretty predictable. So I give it what we call this, like a half thumb or something like that. Half a star. Yeah, that's what I get. So anyway, that's all I got to say.
Okay. Night, Danny.
All right, y'all have a good night, and I'll listen to the show later, find out what y'all say.
All right.
Hey, Danny,
Yeah.
can you add me as an admin for Lugcast Lab Matrix Room?
Oh yeah. I'll do that right now before I go to bed. So. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
And good night.
Good night, guys.
Night.
I'll talk to you guys later. If I didn't have to get up so early, I'd hang out. But
And definitely give us a review of that doll tomorrow as well.
yeah, I'm gonna use that before I go to bed. And then, I'll send it to Joe next. He can have
Horrible
a slap
human being.
seconds.
No, I'm not sharing your doll. I'm not sharing your doll. No. Gross.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
Joe's got a better, option. Anyway, gentlemen, I think I'm going to shut down tonight. I'm not feeling that well, and I'll talk to you next show.
Get some rest. Feel better.
Night, Netminer.
All right. Good night, Netminer.
Good night.
Take it easy, Netminer.
Now, I know everybody else seems to feel a little lukewarm about this movie, but I really liked it. I thought it was really good. Now, granted,
I also liked it.
He didn't.
I really like this. Yeah, but granted, I think there's still some misnaming of things going on there. Like they kept saying artificial intelligence, but it was really artificial sentience that they were looking at, as opposed to just like a large language model, which is what they were trying to say it was. But no, I mean, the robots were doing illogical things to achieve like ephemeral ideologies. So I would say that this is more along the lines of artificial sentience as opposed to artificial intelligence. But other than that, I just thought the movie was yes, visually stunning, and yeah, I did think that there was a lot of things going on there with it, and you know, the child being able to actually show emotion about what's his name that was taking care of her, Joshua, and mother.
Did you have any thoughts? Could you tell me your thoughts on the child? The child and its placement in the movie?
What do you mean?
From everything that we've seen, capability-wise, from all of the other devices or units, artificial beings, I'll say, and then the child and its capabilities, from what it displayed,
being able to learn and grow,
and its magical powers, its ability to just control electronics. And other things, you know, just how do you feel that fit in with the story? Because basically they created Robot Jesus.
They did kind of create a Robot Jesus there. Yeah, you know, it was the story, though. I mean, it was a child that was, the basis was an actual embryo, and it was grown as opposed to, you know, built, the intelligence. And then, yes, it was meant to control all electronics in the world and stop all war, blah, blah, etc. But I still thought it was an interesting premise for the child.
So I'm going to make one point, and then you guys can say whatever you want. Artificial sentience is bad. Bad, 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 bad. Don't do it. Bad. We do not do that.
Skynet.
Do not have your machine sentient. Do not let it know that it's a machine. It's a machine. Leave it that way. If you do that, that's bad.
They did make some solid points. They did make some solid points. That,
you're a very bad man. Bad, bad, bad.
I'm agreeing with you, so let me get to that.
Do that ever.
Or at least teach them Buddhism.
No.
They did know. There were Buddhist robots. Yes.
Not ever. No sentient. Okay. No sentient ever. Ever.
The human, the American woman, general, whatever the heck she was, did mention that you shouldn't do that, and she mentioned the reason why. She specifically stated what humans did to Neanderthals in order to get rid of Neanderthals, because humans were smarter and stronger than them. Or at least as a group. So they raped and murdered them to death, and that's what they're worried that, you know, our sentient robot children will do to us, because they would be better than us.
Don't make your robot sentient. Don't ever make it. Don't ever make any sort of a sentient AI at all. That's bad. That is bad.
I'm not sure that you can. I'm not sure that you can purposefully
Sentience
make.
is bad.
I'm not certain that you can purposefully make sentience. Okay.
Don't make it self-aware at all. No, that's bad.
I'm going to
leave
tear
that
the
part
new.
out.
Like I said, I'm not sure that you can do that.
Sure,
but
you
no,
can. AI is just the language models is not something that's going to become all of a sudden become self-aware and start thinking. It's not designed that way.
Honky,
right now.
Honky, I just want to say I welcome our robot overlords, and I hope they do not include me in their purging of.
No, I can tell you what's going to happen.
It's going to be the great purge of Honky.
We're going to see a massive blue HP scanner light scan over Honky, and then his screen is just going to disappear after that.
That's right.
Yeah.
The little light comes down, and
what kind of got me was, the Americans were the ones that were completely against AI. AI, kill them all, kill them all, kill them all, and then. But
why was that though?
Because of the nuke that went off in California, but that was a programming error as opposed to
So now keep going in that direction for a little bit.
We didn't do it.
No, they were completely against AI, whatever their reason was, but they used AI in those exploding robots.
Yes, they did.
They couldn't have just used
contradiction.
A simple non-AI driven robot instead of something that runs, or a drone that they were controlling, and then they wouldn't have had anywhere near the problems that they had with the AI powered boom boxes.
Now think about it. That big scanner that was over the ocean from Project Nomad, all of that was AI.
Yeah,
all of it. The nuke, the way that it was directed into that bunker to blow up the bunker, all of it. Not only that, remember the Bobcat that they dragged out on the field when they went to storm the underground bunker to get the weapon? And there was a lady up top. She had a Bobcat, and the Bobcat launched a bunch of mortars. Now, those weren't dumb mortars that she had to aim herself. Those mortars just somehow found the enemy. So how do you think that happened? AI. That's how that happened. So there was a ton of AI actually being used. She had no targeting system where she had to log on or anything. She just hit a button and mortars fired up and found the enemy out of nowhere.
Well,
so
you can do targeting without AI.
Okay. Targeting without AI, if you have lasers or somebody else to help guide it, or if you're doing some form of guidance yourself, where she had no guidance at all. Just
okay. You can make guidance that is relatively easy, like
primitive with heat or other
radar,
anything that traces that she did not have.
Radar pretty well, but.
Agreed.
It is possible to do. I mean, you could even now with image recognition, you could still use like just a learning model as opposed to an artificial sentience, which is what they actually were having issue with. So it doesn't actually think for itself, but it can pick a target.
So now, with all of that said, what I want to know is when you're creating all of these artificial beings and you want them to seem like lifelike or human, why on earth do you then expose like the back of their head like an open CRT monitor or something? Just I
was thinking about that. No, I was
giant
thinking
hole
about
right
that.
through the head.
Right, like so because dust and nothing else will affect any of that open circuitry, right?
Well,
because
it's a dumb freaking design, but I was thinking about that, and the only thing that makes sense with those moving parts that they had in there that were the actual computer brain of the thing, the only thing that makes sense is it was for heat dissipation.
No, that's not it. You know what it was?
What?
That was the have you ever seen those Dyson fans?
Yeah,
the bladeless
fans. Now, another thing that kind of like tweaked my nose a little bit was they took the sentience from a dead person, essentially.
And
put it
there you go
in to one of these bots.
Uh-huh.
And now, when the person had been dead for a couple hours, they were only able to do it for a short period of time. They never really explained that excessively well. But for like a person that was on life support, they copied the person's brain and put that into a bot. And how? No, you cannot convince me
There
that
you
as
go.
a society that humans, even if it wasn't, living afterwards, humans wouldn't have been all over this like fat kids on a donut because they want to live forever and these bots aren't going to die, that they wouldn't have their brain copied and shoved into a bot.
I'm glad you made it there before I did.
And then you can't really call it artificial sentience or artificial intelligence at that point. It's artificially sustained sentience, but it's an actual human sentience in a bot.
Now, what I also want to know is, what size SD card did they use to copy that guy's brain?
Like 5 meg.
Because it happened really fast, right? Like there was no load time or anything, and it was wireless. So I mean, no latency or nothing. Just straight up, just copied the guy's brain, his whole life.
He wasn't that bright. It was just a couple megs.
Call my wife. Call my wife.
Worst agent in the world, right? You're supposed to know if you're going out and I don't know if you guys saw any of my notes that I put in there, but I was now when they went on this mission, notice how she just told them all like, hey, we're all going out here to die. Not once did she mention, okay, we're gonna meet at this location for extraction, right? Like, after we find the thing we need to find and do what we need to do, we're gonna leave over here. No, none of that was mentioned at all. We're just going in.
Well, we didn't get the full freaking brief or anything. It was already a 2-hour movie. What were they supposed to do? Make it 10 hours?
No. You don't need to make it 10 hours, but still, there has to be some information where, like, hey, we're going in and this is how we're getting out. Like, it didn't have to be a big thing. Because remember in the beginning?
Yeah, they're just dropping in.
Those guys just coming in out of the water with their big old damn spotlights, just showing everybody where they are, which is another, I guess that's supposed to be like the, I guess if you're just a civilian, that's supposed to look really cool, the tactical guys. You're out in the middle of the night, but you're carrying around a damn spotlight to show everybody where you are, but you're still sneaking. That kind of thing.
The Americans were kind of using shock and awe in everything they did, which is, a very foreign perception of what the Americans do.
You gotta like too that they just bring this giant ship over to Asia and then just kind of have it hang around above, just scanning things at random. Perfectly fine, A-okay.
Yeah. No one even and goodness me, I don't know why I even questioned it, because when it was scanning, right, at first I thought, okay, the guys coming out of the water had to dodge the scan beam. That's what it seemed like in the very beginning, right? Like they were rushing to avoid being scanned by this thing. Even when the plane was coming in to that country, they made it seem as though the plane also had to ride behind the scanner as it was entering into New Asia or whatever it was called. So it made it seem as though they could not allow themselves to be seen by this device. So it caused some confusion as to who controlled the device, the plane with the scanner. I think that was Project Nomad. Then, again, in the beginning, I'm going to jump back here real quick. Those guys got blown up when his wife supposedly got blown up, right? That's supposedly because it scanned a robot. Now, this robot that knew that the scanner was out there, because why? You use a visible scanning laser, right? Why on earth would you use a visible big damn light show to come down and show everybody, hey, stay away from this area because we're scanning it? Well, the artificial intelligence could not decide whether or not to drive into that or not. So they just did. They just drove into it. The advanced sentience drove them into the laser and got blown up. So I figured like, okay, well, where the hell is this going now?
Yeah, and they didn't explain a whole lot about the scanning process on whether it was actually looking for AI or what its parameters were or anything like that. So you have to make some suppositions there or just take some shit on faith. But no, I mean, yeah, the movie did have problems. I still enjoyed it.
I enjoyed ripping it to shreds.
And another thing I'll say is you're making all these artificial intelligences, and every single one is bipedal, almost human-like, except for the boom boxes.
Well,
No, even those were bipedal and semi-humanoid shape. I mean, they were a barrel in the middle instead of, a body. But all the other ones are like bodies. So is that really the best design that you can the only design that you can come up with?
All right.
Well, here's part of why Oh, there you go. Sorry.
I was thankful the AIs were peaceful, and showed compassion and other features that I wish more of humanity had. Versus things like Black Mirror, when they had the military robot dogs, which Boston Dynamics actually makes.
Mm-hmm.
So before they made the soldiers that can shoot while they're being beaten and stuff thrown at them. But those dogs, they program them to go get rid of the enemy, but they put in so many parameters that everybody on the planet is the enemy, and they try to take. That is terrifying, and that's not even artificial intelligence. That's just a programmed machine.
Yeah. You should check out Zone Wars, the book series. It's actually really good, and it covers a lot of that. But that's like the difference between what I was saying there with artificial intelligence and artificial sentience. Like Terminator, that would really feel more like an artificial intelligence, because there's nothing other than the logic of kill all humans before they can kill us, because they suck and we're awesome. But there's no real emotion behind it. But with the artificial sentience, you are getting that emotion.
I think that the Matrix had a better one.
Also,
it was the same premise of kill our humans, but the humans attempted to stop the robots by blotting out the sun, right? So they damaged their own environment to stop the robots. And what did the robots do? Turn the humans into batteries.
There you go.
Hey, it keeps the humans alive.
Yeah, keeps the humans alive,
the humans
keeps the
into batteries.
Alive. Win-win.
So now in this movie, I'm glad you guys brought up the dogs, because that was my favorite character of the entire movie. The good boy that took the grenade back to the police drones or whatever they were.
That was kind of awesome. The dog played fetch.
Yeah.
Good boy for the win, let me tell you. When I saw that, I had to go back and edit my note real quick. Like, this is a very good boy. When I saw that, like, yes, that's my highlight of the movie was the dog. After that, well, it's same old shit show.
I thought the movie was fine. I mean, it was entertaining.
And you know what? I think it was only entertaining because of how much production went into it.
Yeah,
but the story could have been far greater.
The story was still better than Spontaneous Combustion.
Oh, see, hater. He forgot to put on his 1990s glasses. That's all it is. Okay.
I saw it in the 90s.
Did you?
I tried putting my 90s glasses on and watched it again, and it was worse.
Oh, see, so you guys decide to say that after Minix is gone here, right?
So I'd say it with Minix on.
We should have had him pick the next movie too.
All right. Now we're going to have to go sift through the list.
So the last show I talked about watching a comedy of horrors. Or are we done talking about this movie?
I think so. Well,
let's give it a rating.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Danny with the half star.
I'm going to go with the half.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up, but it was the special effects were good, but it needed to be shorter.
I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up.
Much shorter.
Oh my god, 2 thumbs? Oh my goodness.
2 thumbs up.
I don't think you have two thumbs to give.
Thumbs up. It was refreshing after all the crappy movies I've seen in the last month.
Mm.
All
Yeah,
the
it
crappy
didn't
movies
suck
we have on this list.
as bad as everything else.
So let's pick the next one. I started watching Comedy of Horrors last night. I made it through the clown one, and I made it through. I'm pretty sure I finished the puppet one, and I think I fell asleep right before the whatever the next one was.
Was that on
The
Tubi?
Bachelorette Party? Yes, it's still on Tubi. That's what I was going to say. A Comedy of Horrors. It's on Tubi. I'll post the link in the show notes along with the trailer on YouTube. The substitute teacher reads 4 short horror tales from her favorite book, and absolutely, the Bachelorette Party story was worth watching the entire movie for. It is a gem, and I would love to hear anyone else's thoughts on it after they watch it. And the last of the 4 stories is a movie actor that's playing a superhero. It goes to get a prosthetics guy to get a mold of his face done for the movie, and the actor is he was Sheriff Logan in Banshee. If anybody watched Banshee on. And then he's also the devil in Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. And then the special effects guy is the main a demon in hell that everything bad happens to. Just a side note. So I watched it because Tubi said it was leaving in a couple days, and I've ended up watching it again, and love it. I can't find it anywhere. There's Volume 1 and Volume 2 available on Blu-ray on Amazon, but I can't find it streaming anywhere.
But it's still on Tubi right now.
The second one. Yeah. The first one is on Tubi. I can't find the second one streaming anywhere.
I am definitely going to set that up for tomorrow. I want to catch that.
Yeah, I just pulled it up now. I'm going to check it out. Looks pretty good.
I'll do some notes on it.
What was the name of it again?
Comedy of Horrors.
A Comedy of Horrors, and I'll put it in the show notes once I find the show notes.
All right, is anybody else looking at the list?
I have it brought up.
You seen anything on there that looks interesting?
Real Genius.
You keep on pushing for Real Genius.
Like the movie.
Not that I have anything against it. I really like Real Genius too.
Pick something else. I mean, we picked something modern. Now I want to pick something a little bit more classic if we're picking something. But I helped pick the last one, so why don't we let Scotty pick one?
Oh, I don't even have the list up. Is it in the Lugcast thing?
It's in the Matrix channel. The
hold on.
I'm pulling it. I'm pulling it.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, I'm loading her up now. All right.
And the ones with the asterisk to the not the asterisk, the
pound
sign to the left of it are ones we've already seen. At least this one doesn't seem to be really updated, but for the most part, most of them have been. If we saw it, we put a little pound sign on the left of them.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I see some good ones in here. At least I think so.
That we watched or we gotta watch?
Now, to be honest with you, I'm looking for a specific one.
Well, what is it? Just throw that out there.
I'm looking for the because we watched the first Nemesis, right? I'm looking for the other one of Nemesis. The next one.
Come on, you're gonna make us watch Nemesis 2, 3, or 4?
There's 2, 3, and 4. I mean, seriously.
They're further down the list.
I think somebody might have gone in and removed them from the list.
No, they're there. I'm looking at them right now.
There. There we go.
Garbage.
All right. No Nemesis. But let's okay, how about this? Oh. No, I don't want to do that one. Future Kick?
Future Kick. Future Kick? Oh, God, is that what's his
I hope
name?
Don the Dragon Wilson's in
I was gonna
It's
say
probably Don the Dragon Wilson. Oh my God, it is Don the Dragon Wilson. I thought we
my
put a
gosh.
prohibition
No.
against Don the Dragon
No.
Wilson movies.
Let's get a little bit of time, like little
Give some
time
space.
before the next. Yes, yeah.
I mean, this guy has so much range that you just, can't encompass everything that he does.
Okay, here's another one. The Circle. That was 2007 though. You said you wanted one that was a little bit older. I mean, it's 2017.
No, The Circle is 2017.
Yeah, 2017. So you want one that a little bit.
I don't know. It's got Tom Hanks in it. It might be a good movie, and I don't know if we can do that.
I'm also looking at Catfish as well. Catfish, it reminds me of what the other Catfish is like online.
Well, that's the idea.
Probably is.
That's what I'm thinking it is. So that's why it kind of stood out to me.
Catfish 2010. Yeah, that looks like exactly what it is.
It's not a large one, is it? Or like a 2-hour movie or nothing, is it?
Catfish is an hour and a half. 1 hour and 34 minutes.
Okay, so it's reasonable in length. I don't know how it's going to be as a movie, but
The Circle is just under 2 hours at 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Oh no, thanks.
Looks like we're leaning towards Catfish.
Oh, documentary?
What's that?
Oh, I'm reading the Wikipedia page.
And, for Catfish?
An audience member suggested that Catfish may actually be a faux documentary.
If it's anything like what I'm thinking, it might be fun. Yeah, it might be fun to see it. But I don't know how technology will play in it unless it's the people using technology to hide their identities, I guess. That's the only other thing I can think of.
Well, I would imagine.
Yeah. Even if it's tangentially technology related, this is going to be more technologically related than some of the garbage that we've watched.
Right.
Okay.
So we're thinking Catfish from 2010? Yeah, IMDb.
Sounding good. Is it on Tubi?
I don't know.
Or is it available on Plex? Cough, cough, wink, wink.
I don't have it there.
Catfish?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh no, this is 2024. No, the version of Catfish that's on Tubi is from 2024.
The one on the list is the 2010 one.
Although it seems to have the similar premise. And you have to know that if it's on Tubi and it's from this year, it's a quality film.
Is that so?
Yes, 110%.
Gonna hold you to it. This is the part where we insert that meme from Breaking Bad, where Jesse shouts that he can't keep getting away with this. All right, so while they're dredging up that info, Honky, any projects or anything cool that you went through?
No. Besides getting the watch, nothing really interesting. I'm pretty dead lately. Working and sleeping.
Lovecraft?
Nah, not much going on here. Just we're doing a big building project at work, and like it seems like every construction project, it's behind schedule, and just trying to get equipment to the right place
Over budget.
when it needs to get there. And oh yeah, well, there's all kinds of budget problems, and now we're entering into the realm of legal problems with the construction company and them not meeting milestones and contractual problems and legal teams, and yeah, it's a whole thing. But
that's the best part.
yeah, but that's been eating up most of my time, so I haven't really had any time to play with too much. But yeah, basically just working too much and too long.
Mordancy?
So internally, I have that Ansel server that has been nothing but issues running Cockpit with Podman, and I am successfully deploying stuff on it. The issues I was having on the cloud with everything containerization was DNS related. Stuff internally was related to that expensive server being a piece of garbage.
Hold on. Did you say,
software from the vendor?
Did you say with
Yes.
Podman?
Yes. So I have questions about Podman. So you download the image and then you deploy the container. If anybody has used Cockpit to deploy stuff, I'm wondering if there's a way to edit what's stuff in the deployed container, or to have it configurable so you don't have to enter every single piece of information again in Cockpit for the Podman when you deploy it. I got stuff working, so it routes from the container, the host IP address, to the VM that's running. I've got all that working. It's beautiful. I installed Nginx Proxy Manager, so I should be able to do stuff with subdomains and route stuff, and then use my what's that called? My router to do port forwarding, so stuff's accessible from the outside using my domain name that I have that points to my home network. And then separately, Scotty and I stayed on the last podcast and got some things working on the Lugcast lab server. Everybody who's been added to the server has also been added to the Nginx Proxy Manager web app, which is why I need admin access to the matrix room so I can add all these links and point to everything. I recommend that you change your password, your IDs, or whatever the ID is on the machine, at lugcastlab.com. Check the spelling because I mistyped it in Scotty's. I put a credentials file in each one of your home directories for for Nginx Proxy Manager.
Yeah,
I think it's called Nginx Proxy Manager Credentials.
The G in the Lugcast lab was missing, so the spelling for the actual for the domain name was where the error was for me.
I think it was just yours that I mistyped it. I think I typed it correctly in all the other files. What else? We got Nginx Proxy Manager running, so we should be able to do. Everybody has admin full access for items that they create. So I'm trying to figure out how to make the access so you can see what's already there. As each one of us adds sites, we can all see it. I'll probably just have to add everybody as admins and then modify the access. Maybe only one or two people with the access to create the cert and stuff like that. But it should be a wildcard cert that auto renews through Let's Encrypt. Anyway, the Lugcast lab is doing better. I had to reboot it today. Stuff wouldn't update because of the kernel version running didn't match, and it said you had to reboot. So Scotty and I didn't reboot it when we were playing around, but I rebooted it today during the show, so it should be better. And the next thing I thought we could do is probably have to have Danny help, is maybe get an export of his setup for the Mumble and other of the Lugcast applications and do a backup running live on the server.
Oh yeah, because he's got a pretty good container workflow going on over there, right?
Yeah. So now that we have some stuff again with Docker on Lugcast Lab, I'd like to mimic some of his stuff. I figured that'd be a great place for a lot of us to learn.
I think he was using, for some of them, I remember he was using the LXD, LXC containers to lob some of those things out there. But I think is he using Proxmox on his box?
Yeah, I think he's using Proxmox, and his Nginx Proxy Manager is an individual container running on Proxmox, if I remember correctly.
I will not use Proxmox. I will not use it in a box. Sorry, I had a little Dr. Seuss moment there.
I will not use it in my house. I will not use it in my cloud.
So tell us a little bit about that that SSH situation that happened.
Me?
When we were going through the SSH thing there for a little bit. The SSHD config.
Oh, securing it?
Yeah. So for anybody out there, when you throw any kind of device on the internet, it's going to get banged on pretty heavily, right? It's just going to be scripts running nonstop, testing your SSH or trying to infiltrate, but yeah, testing your SSH hardening. We made some changes to ours, but we didn't know that we thought that all the changes were made, but it was when we went back in there and checked it out, we learned that certain ones weren't made.
So the two things that weren't set up is still allowed for login with root password. So we changed that to without password, which allows keys for root. If you say no, then keys and passwords don't work. But you should never have yes on there. It should either be no or without password. And then what was the other one we had to change? Authorize key file to yes?
No, it was public key authorization.
Public key authorization. Yeah,
pub key authorization. Change that to I forget whether it's yes, no, or true or false, but same thing. You're saying yes to public key, no to passwords, and I think you did say yes to root login, or was it no to root login password?
No, permit root login space without dash password. So it allows you to log in without password, meaning with keys.
Public key access.
Public key access. Yeah, that's how you do the public key access. I have done some stuff where root is completely shut off, and sometimes that is feasible. But if you ever have problems with sudo, then you're stuck. And on a cloud server, that's not where I want to be stuck. So that was the reasoning for without password, and it's in the README file under root for things to document once we get a solution for documentation for the server.
Yeah, we're still
which is not going to be Hugo.
Yeah, not going to be Hugo unless Honky
somebody can show us how to do it correctly.
Yeah, Honky over here throwing up containers left and right, building Hugo containers. So he's going to go ahead and hook us up with that, right, Honky?
I will try. Again, it's been a while.
But I do feel like I've accomplished a lot in the last 2 weeks with Podman on my internal device. I still need to figure out how to change the settings so it sees all the Xeon cores, because one thread is not cutting it for virtualization. But I have stuff running on it, and it's working well. If anybody wants to listen after the recording stopped.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely stick around after recording. Now, one of the other things that we learned, we were playing around with Screen, and I think you have Tmux already on there, but I think we installed Screen because that's the one I'm more familiar with. And one of the things that we learned at that time, if things done within a socket, a separate socket, was not being logged. So if you were in a separate socket, just doing
to the bash history,
yeah, it just didn't get logged in there. I don't recall. Did we ever check anything else in the var logs to see if they picked it up?
No, we didn't look in var logs, but we can do that whenever. We can add that to a checklist of things to check. But that was interesting that it didn't save any of the commands that were being run in the screen session to the bash history.
I'd also be tempted in testing that in Tmux as well, just to see if it'll do the same thing. Because that, I imagine that's not what you want to happen.
You might have a bug report to submit. 25-year-old bug found by Scotty.
That would be fun. And of course, that means I'm going to update my resume. I'm going to be best security blah 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 buzzword fanatic ever. Just like after Delta Ray taught me how to he did that show on teaching you how to use Blender. Basically, it's the Hello World version of using Blender. The moment I created the first thing, which is an HPR logo, I ran straight over to Mastodon and told everybody I'm the best Blender artist on the planet. Just because I created my little one-step thing there. Fantastic. So definitely going to update the resume with that.
You get Fweeb back on the show.
Who?
Fweeb, he's a developer for Blender.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I can't wait to get back in there. I've been playing around with Podman a little bit more. I got an Ubuntu container that I wanted to play around with. So I hopped into there and I was just checking it out to see what all was in there. I wanted to do some just messing around with users within the container where I know that, once that session closes, it's not going to cause any problems. And one of the things I was thinking about, when they say that Docker was root and Podman was a rootless daemon or whatever, I had not successfully used Docker on my end in a long time. Like I can't remember when it was when I attempted to use Docker, but I had a bad experience, and maybe things are better now. But using it on the server, where you have to use sudo just to enable Docker, see, and I heard you can break out of a container, right? Like, I don't know how it's done or anything. I never attempted it or whatever, but whenever you're jumping into like a Ubuntu container and you're root in that container, so if you were to break out of that container, you would also be, if you're using Docker, you would also be root on the machine that you escaped from the container within. Is that how that works?
Sounds likely.
I don't know exactly, but I think that's how almost all the privileged escalation stuff works. Once you break out of it, you're back to root.
Okay, because some of my testing is what I'm getting ready to do here soon, right? I'm playing around with doing switch user and crap like that, right? I'm trying to find a way to avoid that. So if you were to, I guess, change ownership or anything, or add the new user to that group, but make sure you limit all the privileges of that user, and then when you switch to that user using there's two commands. There's su, which su substitute user, and then there's another one, user run, I think it's called. But with user run, you have to be root to use that one. Su is the one where you have the option to use it with the login, or is it P? One way or another, there's an option where when you run the command, you can run it in a separate environment, not the actual environment of the user that's, has access to sudo or whatever. So you can run it from a separate environment to basically put more distance between privileges. So in the event that something were to go wrong, you're just putting extra layers in between. What's that? The HBR. Oh, are those the stickers?
This is this is my book, an old book that I take to my tech conferences. I take several, but this one I've been taking for, I don't know, 15 years or more. One HBR sticker I made, and then the rest are. But this is from Delta Ray's Intro to the Command Line lecture at, I think, the Ohio Linux Fest, and then he did it again at the Indiana Linux Fest the next year.
Oh, I can already see you got some job things running there. I saw a kill percent, so that's from your job listing right there.
Yes, yeah. Where %1, where the number 1 is the process number.
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking about as well. When you're running those different, we tested that, as a matter of fact. When we were running screen, the different sockets, we were checking for the process IDs to see if he could actually see that I was running a separate socket. So he could see that I was doing that, but he could not see through the bash history what I was doing while I was in that socket. So there, some interesting things that we were looking at while we were there.
Yeah, but Delta Ray, when he gave the talk at the Indiana Linux Fest, at the after party, he was like, well, I don't know if anybody got anything out of it and stuff. And I had this in my back pocket, and I pulled it out and showed him all the notes. I said, I didn't go to it, but here are my notes from when you did it at the Ohio Linux Fest. And I was like, the first thing he did was, he said, you can type cd space tilde to go to your home directory. And he said, or you can just type cd enter and it defaults to the home directory. And I was like, I can save half the keystrokes? And I pointed out to everybody when I see him do cd tilde. cd tilde /.ssh is something I do all the time. But to the home directory, I never add anything other than cd.
You don't use just cd enter?
Yeah, that's what
I do now.
Yeah,
I do now. Yeah, that's what I just said.
I just always.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I always.
Fast path to home directory.
Yeah.
I never knew it was a fast path, and then you can do cd space dash to go to the previous directory you were in.
Oh,
if you're not using push. No, that's up a directory.
Oh, okay. But CD
because I'll go from
dash will take you back to where you were
to the previous one.
Okay.
So one example is I'm always going back and forth between Etsy profile D and user local bin for work and stuff. Work on scripts and stuff in both directories.
I'm a big push D fan. I love me some push D.
Push and pop.
Yeah, I rarely pop D. What I'll do is once the stack gets too convoluted, I'll just go ahead and clear it using dir. You can use dir with the C flag and it'll clear your stack. And I have a function in my bash RC that I use to pre-populate the directories that I most often visit.
I want to interrupt you and say you should do something like what Dan Walsho did with his Linux in the shell or Linux in the house or whatever, where he talked about a different Linux command every episode. I think they loaded them on HPR. And show some of these tricks because you do some pretty cool stuff. And second, you need to share your vimrc file because that is one of the nicest and cleanest vimrcs I've seen in a long time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I gotta probably. Well, I don't know if it'll work in the show notes. Like if they'll be able to see it in the show. Like, will it format properly for the show notes, or it'll probably be too much, especially after all that movie stuff that I put down in there.
I think for the Lugcast Lab, we should make a dot files in a Get repo, so we can use Forge Go or Get T or and the wiki like the README. We can do all sorts of stuff. But again, that's what the Lugcast Lab server is for us to play around and do things like that and share knowledge and get experience.
Yeah, I'll definitely be doing that. That sounds great.
You guys sound like you're killing it. I'm fading. I'm literally falling asleep, so I'm gonna get going.
Do you have sign on to the server, Eric?
I'm gonna have to bug you guys on Element or something just to see. I honestly don't know. But I want to get in front of it when I have an opportunity to actually get in, log in, play with it,
okay.
all that stuff.
You're not in. There's a separate matrix room, Lugcast Lab.
Okay.
And if you generate a 256, which is a 2048-bit key or higher RSA key, I'll add you in there, and then I'll also add you to the Nginx proxy manager.
Okay, cool.
And currently everybody gets sudo access to root.
Oh, okay, that'll be
fun. So what we shouldn't be doing, and the goal is to document enough stuff so I can wipe out the server and reinstall it, and then everybody will have the specific escalated privileges that they need.
Gotcha.
And then we can replicate that and drop it, and then the next time there's a sale on server space on SSD nodes, I'll make another one, and we'll have maybe a dev and prod or something where we can test and push back and forth between.
Nice.
Some disaster recovery, kill the entire server, redeploy it using the Get and stuff on the other server.
Sounds pretty professional, man.
Yeah, I'll go.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Then we can all get jobs wherever we want because there's an organization that can call up the director of infrastructure, Honky, who can go. Yes, absolutely. Scotty's skills at architectural design in the cloud are.
I'm just HR.
I love it. All right. Well, when I get
Scotty,
a chance to do it, I'll hit you guys up. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good night.
Take it easy.
All right.
Oh, and by the way, we're jealous of that kiss you got earlier.
Oh yeah. She had a dance tonight. First middle school dance of the year. So,
oh wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, good stuff. She had 4 friends come over, or 3 friends of 4 of them before, and they got ready together, and my wife took them, and came back, and they were all wound up. They had a really good time. It was cool. So good group of kids, good friends. So this is a fun age. So yeah. So all right, guys, I'll talk to you.
Have a good night.
Take it easy.
Good night.
Did everybody talk about what they're watching?
I don't think anybody really did.
I did because I haven't watched shit.
Yeah.
I saw the new Crow. I wasn't impressed.
It was horrible.
I think I expected too much. I was really, really excited. I love the Skarsgård. But on the TV side, I watched Lockwood and Company on Netflix and Yo Yu Hakusho, the live action on Netflix.
How is Lockwood?
It was fun.
I liked both of them, and I'm very disappointed that Lockwood and Company was canceled after the first season.
Was it canceled?
Yeah,
it was canceled.
Oh. Which
I'm caught up on From and Tulsa King. I am liking both of those. The Rick and Morty anime is wonderful. It's in the Japanese anime style. I'm still current on that. And I'm watching a new show called Ghosts because it kept popping up on my YouTube shorts, doom scrolling. And it's got I forget her name. The actress from iZombie.
Okay.
Liv McIver or something like that. I've only watched one episode, maybe starting into a second episode, but I'm enjoying it. It's cute.
Is that the sitcom with the house that has a bunch of ghosts in it?
Yes, the Viking and the robber baron lady and a Boy Scout leader with the arrow through his neck.
Yes. Okay.
yeah. It's so far it's cute and funny, and I'm enjoying it.
Nice. I'm still finishing up Preacher, which Preacher once you get through season 1, and start season 2, it just becomes awesome.
Yeah, that was the reason I had stopped watching it, because season 1 started out strong, but then
season 1 was so bad,
and then after the first couple episodes, it just went.
But season 2, the second season 2 starts off, it's just fantastic. I'm hoping. Did that show actually get an ending? Does anybody?
I think so. I watched it all. I don't remember being I felt like I don't feel like there wasn't closure. Like I don't have any. But I don't remember how it ended.
In the comic books, Hairstar dies and God dies. The saint of all killers shoots God in the head and then sits on the throne, and I think Tulip kills Hairstar.
I watched it when it aired on TV. I can't remember how it ended, but I didn't remember being like there's a void because it didn't resolve.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hope they finished it. I've been watching.
I'm sure you can go on Wikipedia and read the synopsis for the last episode.
Yeah, that's true. I occasionally just go through and pick MST3K or Riff Track episodes, and I watch those. I usually put that on when I'm doing dishes or something for the background. It's random movies. Anything else? No, I watched the Spontaneous Combustion. I watched the.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Half of I've seen half so far of the Comedy of Horrors. I watched Children of the Corn. I never actually sat down and watched the full movie before. Oh, and I started Terror. I gotta finish watching that. That's the one with
Started what?
Terror. Terror. The one with Is it Art the Clown? Terrorize. Oh fuck! I don't know. It's on Tubi.
Yeah, Terror. The one where the clown murders everybody.
Yeah.
Terrifier. Did you watch Terrifier 2 or the prequel? I think it's a short story in an anthology that starts his story.
Well, I watched the one that's just called. I think it's just called Terrifier. Apparently, there was also a first one which was something Halloween.
All Hallows Eve, and then there's a second one.
Yeah,
Terrifier 2.
I think there's coming out with there's Terrifier 3 is supposed to be coming out. I started watching that.
What? It comes out October 11th, 2024.
Yep. I figure it's that time of year, start going into the horror movies. I want to watch the old Salem's Lot before the new one comes out. Because it's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, new one's around now.
Oh, is it out?
I saw it yesterday. I didn't watch it yet, but I saw it was around.
Is it the full thing, or are they doing like a weekly drop type of a deal?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm going to check it out. It's probably later in the weekend.
I watched the remake they did of The Stand.
It's an hour 54-minute movie.
Oh, okay. I watched the remake they did of The Stand, and I thought that was okay, but I liked the first one so much better. I love the cast of the first one so much better. It just seems stupid to try to remake it.
You have to. And you got to make everything politically correct.
Well, there wasn't anything politically correct changed in it that I can recall, but it's the cast was in the first one was just, I mean, go through the list. Let's see, Stand.
The miniseries one from TV.
Yeah,
it was good.
That's 2020 cast. I don't care about the damn 2020 cast. 1994 cast. There we go. Gary Sinise. Let's see. Rob Lowe, Laura Sand. Can't pronounce her last name. Molly Ringwald.
Sanjeev Como or something.
Yeah. Bill Faberback, the guy who does the voice of Patrick Starr from. He was also in Coach. Yeah, Ray Walton, Ozzie Davis, Kathy Bates was in it. Ed Harris was in it. Yeah, the cast on this was just fucking phenomenal on its own. It was done so well too. I don't know why they bothered trying to remake it when they did it so well the first time.
Honky.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
It is available.
Which one? The new one?
Yes.
Yeah.
The new one. The new one is on streaming services now.
Oh, okay, good. I'll have to look for it.
So is
So is
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Like,
okay. Yeah, okay. Very good. Very good.
The real version, not the
Correct.
not the shaky cam.
Correct.
Cam is gone.
I Actually, I think at one point I asked my wife, I go, you want us to see Deadpool? You want to watch the shaky cam version? We can sit at home and pretend like we're in a movie theater. You can even hear other patrons.
Look, because I wasn't able to get to the theater to see the movie, I want to get like a MetaQuest 2 and watch it with that.
There you go. Well, how was weren't you still doing like a Google Cardboard type thing?
I was trying, it wasn't working very well, so.
Yeah. How did that work out with like movies?
You can set it up, but I mean the phone's going to heat up, and the viewing experience isn't what I would like it to be. It was a lot better when like the Gear VR stuff actually worked.
Okay.
Now, I have a quick question here, Joe. There's an image behind you in the middle. Yeah. What exactly is that? Because my imagination.
It's a person reading a book.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. All right, because, all right. I'm not going to...
reading a book.
Okay. I'll leave it just as that then, you know?
Family friendly.
Okay.
You should take a clear picture of it, straight on, and post it in the Matrix chat, so Scotty's mind can be put to ease.
It's 3D printed.
Yeah.
I haven't watched anything.
Find it on Thingiverse.
The most I've done, I listened to some audiobooks.
Good?
What's the one I've been listening to? The Dark Tower.
Dark Tower is a good series.
Nice. I want to listen to this.
Love the Dark Tower.
Yeah, the first book kind of threw me off. I wasn't entirely sure what was going on at first, but once I got into like the second book, then it just opened up, and then it hooked me. I couldn't get away from it after that. So I'm on, I think, the fourth book now, and I'm just all in. Like, this is something I got to have in my life from now on.
See, I downloaded the entire Dean Koontz collection, and I went through all the Odd Thomas series, I went through all the Frankenstein series, and I just started the Jane Hawk series. The Jane Hawk series is okay. It's not great, because it seems to be, you seem to kind of run into the same thing constantly, and it's just kind of like beating a dead horse. Each book is she's trying to get information from people, so she winds up breaking into somebody's house in one way or another, getting them, and then getting it from trying to interrogate them in a way to try to get information out of them, and this pattern just seems to repeat.
Yeah,
but
it's like reading it's like reading the first 3 books of the Sword of Truth novels.
Yeah.
After you've read that, it's just a repeat. Because either the Richard gets kidnapped, or Kaylin gets kidnapped, or there's a book where they're together and blah.
They both got kidnapped?
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I want to see where the thing finally goes. I'm in book 3 of 5. So I'm hoping that there's got to be more to happen. But right now, I'm not really holding my breath. But
I'm currently rereading the Alistair Stone novels, because there's like 36 of them.
Damn.
I wanted a longer series. And it's actually a pretty good series, and it's one of the few series that's that long that actually does like a proper character progression. It's not the same story over and over again. The story actually does grow and change, but it's a natural progression of change throughout the whole thing.
You gotta leave a link for that. Now, what's the story about?
It's urban fantasy.
Urban fantasy?
So a
My
guy
brain
with
doesn't
magical
work with
powers.
fantasy.
Okay. Then
Like
don't read it.
if I try to read it, like it just doesn't. I have a bunch of gaps where the abilities are mentioned. I can't mentally visualize it.
Then you should read the Zone War trilogy.
What's that one about?
About drones killing everybody.
Oh. Drone War trilogy, huh?
Yeah, by John Conroe. But don't read any of his other series.
Oh, that didn't sound too good.
But he also writes urban fantasy.
Oh, okay.
But the Zone War series by John Conroe is a good series, and definitely not urban fantasy. It's more sci-fi.
Is there supposed to be more the next Dresden Files book?
There are some superficial similarities between Dresden Files and the Alistair Stone Chronicles, but it's very superficial. I mean, they both live in a city and they're magicians, mages.
Do we know if there's going to be a new Dresden Files book coming from Jim Butcher?
There will be several more. I think it's going to be a total of a 24-book series, but he's kind of spaced out his timing. You should, if you like his stuff and you're kind of craving something a little bit different, his son has, I believe, 3 books out right now in a single series, James J. Butcher. And it's actually pretty good, but I think I can only get the first one in audio, and the other 2 I used a text-to-speech reader. And let's see, I don't know when Jim's next book is coming out.
That Dresden one sounds familiar. I thought I listened to some of that before. I think he was dealing with vampires or something.
Oh, Dresden Files? Yeah, there's vampires in the Dresden Files.
Okay, all right. I thought I listened to that. Matter of fact, I need to have another go at that.
Like 16, 17 books in the series or something like that.
Oh, wow. I didn't know there were that many in there.
He has 2 other book series. One of them's completed. It's the, what is it? Codex Alera. Also fantasy, not necessarily urban fantasy, but it's basically, 300 meets Pokemon.
Oh, no, I can't deal with that. I would have to see it to imagine what they're talking about, and it wouldn't...
It's basically the Roman Empire with, with powers and spirits that you can attach to yourself or something crazy like that. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, it's
good.
It's interesting to try and follow along with.
And then he has the Cinderspire series, which is ongoing, and I will say that it is extremely difficult to follow in audio, and if you're going to read it, I suggest reading it.
All right. It's nearly 1 a.m. At least Eastern Standard.
All right. Yeah, we can wrap it up here. And mordancy, you going to stick around for a bit?
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. So our next recording date will be October 18th, 2024. Our music is downright provided by Klaatu and Brome. We'd like to thank Minix for the Mumble server, Matrix server, and a lot of the other servers that we use. All right, I've been your host this evening, Honky Magoo. With us tonight is Joe.
Good night.
Lovecraft.
Good night, everybody.
Mordancy.
Good night, all.
And Scotty.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.